This is the official Samsung Galaxy Note 8 review at dsdatabase.org. The Galaxy Note 8 is, of course, Samsung's latest tablet and also the latest entry into the Note series, which has been gaining popularity. Unfortunately, this device is being priced at $399 in the States for 16 gigs or $429 in Canada. That means that it's almost double the Nexus 7 and quite pricey compared to its competitors. Inside the box, all you'll find is a cable and a power adapter, and of course the device itself. So what makes the Note 8 so special? It's primarily because it includes the S Pen, which is unique to the Note series. We'll discuss this a little later in our review, but for now, I'd like to talk about the hardware. Dominating the front of the device is, of course, the 8-inch screen. At a resolution of 1280 by 800, it has a PPI of 189. It's vibrant, it's very bright, and it has pretty decent viewing angles. But by all accounts, this is an average-looking screen, which is likely to be trumped by next-generation tablets. We also have the form factor. It is a little thicker than I'd like, and I think people will have a strong grip, but not a comfortable hold. Also on the front of the device is a light sensor and a poor front-facing camera, but no notification LEDs. Down at the bottom is a physical home button, and two capacitive buttons, one back and one menu. If we flip the device over, we'll see that Samsung has stuck with the cheap back plastic. It's light and durable, but not very premium feeling. We also have a back-facing camera, 5 megapixels, but no LED flash. It sticks out of the device a little bit, which isn't a great design choice. The device is also extremely thin. We have a power button, a volume rocker, and an IR blaster. On the left, we have a micro SD slot for expandable memory. 64 gig micro SDs are getting reasonably priced, so that's definitely something I like. We also have a common headphone jack, two speakers at the bottom of the device, and a micro USB slot that doubles as an MHL. What I like about the device really is that it's comfortable for a device this size, but what I didn't like is the fact that the camera sticks out. It's still pretty firmly placed, but it's not completely flat. The capacitive buttons are also easy to hit with your palms, so the back button gets pressed every now and then. The speakers on the side are also poor decision, but they sound pretty decent in comparison to other budget tablets. So let's talk a little bit about performance. A lot of the other reviews talk about the Exynos quad-core processor in this device as the greatest thing in the world. It certainly does well in benchmarks, but most reviews leave it at that. If you are running a lot of videos, you'll know that the Note 8 runs most AVI files, most common files fine. But if we move into 10-bit, which are being used for anime primarily, and some of the latest releases, the 720p runs fine. Only in high intense scenes will you see frame dropping, but 1080p is so laggy it's unreadable. In comparison to, say, the Tegra 3 on the Nexus 7 that has hardware acceleration, the performance isn't quite as good, but no graphical glitches. The same is true about gaming. The Tegra 3, in terms of graphics, does have an edge here, with a pretty consistent frame rates, say at 30-35 in Asphalt Heat 7, instead of Samsung, which seems to get roughly 20-25 and bursts at 60-70. So consistency is something that the Nexus 7 has in advantage. But what makes the Note 8 really special is the S Pen. The term productivity gets thrown around a lot, but what it means to me really is that this device is starting to be something that you can take to the office, to lectures, and to school. So we can take notes with a pen, and that makes a huge difference. The very first thing I'd like to show off is something called the multi-window mode. This allows you to truly multitask. This isn't switching between different apps, but this is truly running two things at once. You get the sidebar when you hold the back button, and Samsung has only chosen about a handful of programs to support it. We have the major ones like Internet, Maps, Email, Word Processor, but if you do root your device, this can be used for any game, any app really. So you can move this side by side, see two things at once. So for example, if I have a planner and I want to check a corporate website to see what the latest thing is, I'd browse the web and keep the planner on the side. We can also move the division so that more screen is devoted to one app or the other. This is definitely a key feature, and I'm starting to see something similar show up on some of the smartphones, but they're not quite widely available yet. And quite honestly, I think Samsung has it very stable and very well done. The next thing I want to show is what the S Pen is. It's a pressure-sensitive pen input, or more commonly known as the stylus. What this means is if I lightly brush against the screen, the stylus will know it's a light brush, whereas if I very strongly press against the screen, it'll be darker or it'll be thicker. And this obviously is used for artists that like to sketch and have that real pen feel. But if you're anything like me, a student, you'll want to bring this to class, and this does wonders for handwriting recognition and just writing more naturally. So this is Samsung's S Note, which has been available since Note 1. But I think at this point it's finally gotten enough of an improvement so that we can bring this to class. So you can see that I've sketched a little bit at the bottom. Terrible picture, I admit, but we can do that on a sheet of paper or on an S Note. But we can of course also tap in different things. Down here we have Samsung's keyboard. We can of course just type it in as usual with a Bluetooth keyboard or just a regular on-screen keyboard. Or we can also take advantage of the handwriting recognition. This is available with any part that uses, any app that uses a keyboard. This is a replacement keyboard. So over here I'm just writing some things, and you can see that handwriting recognition isn't perfect, but from my tests, and I've shown this around with other people, it's pretty darn good. It's, as long as you don't have horrendous writing, it'll get 95% of your regular writing. If we're inputting text, of course, we have bullet points, paragraphs, all these things. However, what I really want to show off is the productivity tools, as Samsung likes to call it. So let's hypothetically say I'm in class. I am going to start jotting down notes. I don't really want to use an on-screen keyboard, so let's write a few things down. So today what I have to do is do a video review of the Note 8. I'm writing a little slow given I have a camera in front of me right now, but you can see that my writing is pretty atrocious and it still got it dead on. Now, let's move down. I want to graph something for my econ class. It'll straighten the lines, it'll recognize what things we're doing. This is called the smart shape. So let's just make a line, and sometimes it's not perfect. You'll always have the option of using the regular pen, as I've shown before, to doodle, but I think it's done a pretty good job of recognizing common curves, common lines, circles. It'll accept arrows. Of course, you can change the color. And in my econ class, I often have to shade different things in. So let's go back, and I think what's nice is Samsung has done it pretty intuitively. So if I draw a line here and I want to cross off a little section, it will let that happen. Now we have a lovely graph here, and I want to label the axes. We can insert text box anywhere. This isn't quite as intuitive. You have to place a new text box every time you want to change locations. So here we have a $ against time. I have no clue why I'm graphing here. We can of course move things around, so just hold on to that spot. You can edit it, delete it, move it back and forth, change the settings, tilt it, enlarge it. So all these basic features, and it's quite intuitive. I'm actually quite impressed. Again, I have a camera in front of me, so I'm not working as fast as I'd like to, but let's throw in a math formula. This has also been something that Samsung advertised. Let's say I want to make a formula for the line in my graph. It'll recognize a lot of different commands, so it'll take integrals or square roots. The recognition isn't perfect, but what's nice is you can go back and edit just like I did right now. It didn't recognize my plus sign. I'll just write in the plus sign again. And I have to say the recognition isn't quite as good as handwriting, but again, it's pretty good if you're just writing a few equations. I wanted to show you real quick something I did actually in class. So you'll see little bits of errors. It's not perfect, but you can see that it looks pretty good. It looks like a something I take in class, and you can export this to a PDF, to bitmap images. And SNote is something really powerful. I haven't gotten into everything it can do yet. I've only scratched the surface, but I can see SNote replacing pen and paper, say for a meeting, of course in class as I keep mentioning. And you can see why productivity is a term that's starting to be thrown around. Now, if I wanted to use this with multi-window, this is of course possible. If instead of taking notes off a class, I wanted to take notes of Wikipedia or something, I can browse the web on the side and of course keep notes on the side. So Samsung has done a lot in terms of software. There's a whole bunch of things: SNote, SPlanner, Smart Stay, reading mode, and honestly some of it's absolutely worthless to me. I think with the Note 8, Samsung has pushed productivity. It's bundled SNote, Polaris Office. It's done massive improvements to SNote on the back end. And really, this is where I'm torn to try and make a decision. I think the Note 8 is going somewhere. I really hope the S Pen works its way into a lot of other tablets rather than just the Note series. But on the other hand, the Note 8 is perfectly functional as is. I'm quite impressed with what SNote can do. It's powerful, it's pretty decent in terms of hardware, and it all boils down to whether you like the S Pen or not. When you compare it with its competitors, the Nexus 7, it's hard to deny that the Note 8 is overly priced at $399. The Nexus 7 is $249. I've seen it on sale for as low as $179. So if you're looking for something to just browse the web and watch movies, by all means go to the competitors. The Note 8 isn't cheap, and the Nexus 7 is still the king of value, I think. But if you're sitting there, you're an artist, a lecturer, a student, and you're thinking, I can really use that S Pen, then go with the Note 8. The Note 8 is a fantastic device, albeit a little pricier than some of its competitors, but it functions as you would expect. The pen is invaluable, and I cannot stress how much I think that the S Pen will help Samsung sell a lot of devices in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video has dragged on a little longer than I would have liked, but I really wanted to show off exactly what the Note 8 can do rather than give you a generic Android tablet review. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys will subscribe.